You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Sponsored in part by 29 Brew Pub and Wood-Fired Pizza, and To Die For Cupcakes. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerd Overload, the show that covers everything in nerd and geek culture, from androids to a Z thing. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
Oh boy, we have a great show for you this week. Thank you for tuning in. We have a bunch of news and everything, but as always, let's get into some stuff we've been checking out.
Well, I've of course been playing Mario Maker that came out on the 11th.
Oh, of course, I would have expected nothing less.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good. It's really fun. It's so well designed. The creation system is just fun to use. Just painting Mario stuff on the pad.
I did hear that it was actually originally intended to be a Mario Paint sequel.
Yeah, but then I don't know. They realized that was redundant.
Yeah,
because they already have that Art Academy game.
Yeah, right.
But it's just a joy to use. It feels like you're a kid playing with Mario stuff.
Very cool. Now,
Again.
do you have everything unlocked?
Yeah. The other day I got the last thing. I haven't used it yet, but I got the subworlds is the last thing you unlock where you can go down pipes and stuff.
Oh, very cool.
And they did change the unlocking system a little bit. It used to be you'd have to wait a day between unlocks. Well, you'd have to play with it for 5 minutes and then wait a day to get the next thing. If you place enough blocks after getting the alert that you're going to get stuff the next day, it'll unlock it automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
But I kind of liked getting something every day because I didn't use it enough to speed it up completely. There's a couple times where I did speed up the unlocks, but mostly I just waited till the next day. So it gives you a good excuse to come back to the game, see what they gave you that day.
Right.
But if you're impatient, you can cut around it if you want.
Okay. Cool. Now, you've completed a handful of levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gotten any ratings? Have people played your levels or anything like that yet?
Yeah, my levels do all right. I haven't gotten on the top plays or whatever. It seems like the same people dominate the charts for whatever reason.
Oh, sure. It's a popularity contest more than
you have
anything.
that with any game where you have a crate content like that.
Yeah, there's some French guy that's been on the top of the list since the game came out, and I don't know why. His levels aren't especially good or anything. They're not terrible by any means, but they're not the best of all of them. And then there's, of course, a lot of YouTubers that have just jumped up the list just based on popularity alone.
Oh, sure. I kind of expected that.
Yeah. Which it's kind of cool to be able to play levels by somebody from the internet. That's kind of neat. I play most of Ross from Game Grumps' levels, even though they're, aggravating.
Yeah. Although I did watch a video of his Pac-Man level, and that was pretty clever, I thought.
People have done that. He's not the first one to do
really?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've played about 3 different Pac-Man levels.
Oh, wow.
One of them actually put question marks with stars in the corners to replace the power pellets, and that was smart.
Oh, that is smart. So, have you played any, really just weird levels? Because I've seen some that people are, using it as almost like an art kind of form. There's
the one that tells a story about how far you're willing to go to save your son or something, and it's it's a parody of games like Heavy Rain or stuff like that. It's pretty funny because it's all in Mario. There's one part where it's would you kill your best friend? And Yoshi's on the right side of the screen with a block underneath him, and you have to hit the P switch and make him fall into the lava.
Oh, wow.
Parodying these moral choices you have to make in games. It's pretty clever. And it really shows how far you can take the level editor.
Yeah. I saw one where it's Waluigi's Lament or something like that, where it's he's having an existential crisis about how he's the least liked Mario universe character. Yeah. It's a pretty crazy one. And then there was one where a guy just spelled out "my wife left me" in coins, and that's it. That's the entire level.
It's just there's a story here. and it's depressing.
Yep.
It's kind of like those little bubbles that pop up in the Inkopolis where, like, my dad hates me or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
the
that.
Splatoon. Yeah, I wish my parents would stop yelling.
It makes me wonder how many people are just doing that as a joke, and how much is
All
like
of them.
real. Oh yeah, probably.
All
So
of them.
you can leave comments in the levels that show up on screen. You got to turn those off because it's super annoying.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can set it so they only appear on the gamepad instead of the TV. That's what I did. So if I want to see them, I can look down and read them, but they're mostly garbage.
Oh, okay.
And they take up too much of the screen and get in the way of actually playing the game.
Gotcha.
So pro tip, you're going to want to turn that off.
So with this game, do you think they're going to roll out like new content periodically, like they do with Splatoon?
I hope so. I don't see why they wouldn't, and I don't think it's not going to last very long with what they got. I mean, like it'll they could go a year maybe, but people are going to lose interest if they don't add more stuff over time. And there's plenty of stuff they could add. There's the Mario enemies you can't place.
Oh yeah, it seems like they've purposely left some stuff out.
Yeah,
It seems like.
There's no Spike, there's no Pokey.
Yeah, I know the Mario 3 levels. They don't have the frog suit and like the was it the Tanuki suit and stuff like that. Although they have the raccoon ears, but they don't have like the full.
Yeah, Tanuki turned into a statue one.
Right.
They don't have like in regular Mario games. If you hit a block and it's a like a leaf or something, but you don't have the mushroom, it'll be a mushroom instead.
Okay.
Like it doesn't work that way. It's just whatever you put in the block is what's there.
Okay.
Which I thought was weird. It's not like the tiered system that it normally is, or at least sometimes is.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that though, because if you have a specific goal in mind with the level, and you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
that
just
you need
simplifying it.
Yeah.
But still, the option would be nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And there's no checkpoints, which is kind of rough if you made a really long level.
Yeah.
A lot of the levels are real bad. People are just real bad at making levels. And that kind of stinks when you're playing like the 100 Mario challenge, where it just keeps giving you random levels. Because sometimes you just get ones that are just straight up garbage. And they're like hard to the point where it's not fun. It's just stupidly designed.
Yeah.
Luckily, it lets you skip them with no consequence.
Oh, that's good.
But if you feel kind of lame going, skip it.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, if I've heard that some people are making levels with like secret exits that only the creator knows about.
Yeah.
To make the level seem like impossible to complete, and that's not fair. You know,
No.
It's not fair. That's just it's bad level design.
It's a lot of people like. Just because you can put something there doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Like, just because you can have a level with 50 Lakitus doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen some of that as well. That's, yeah.
Also, all the Pokemon costumes don't have sound effects.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. It makes me wonder if it's some legal thing with the Pokemon company or something, but
That could be.
all the costumes have special sound effects except for the Pokemon.
Maybe it's not patched in yet.
It seems a weird thing to leave out.
Yeah. Would you recommend this game to people?
Oh yeah,
overall?
absolutely.
Very cool.
If you have any passing interest in Super Mario Brothers, who doesn't like Mario?
Oh yeah.
It's definitely worth getting.
Yeah.
Just be ready to stomach some real bad levels.
Now, do you think this level design type game? Do you think other franchises would work with it? Because I've heard people they're asking for a Zelda game like this, and I don't know if that would work.
It would be cool, but I can't.
It would
see
take forever.
people making good puzzles. People
Yeah.
can't make good Mario levels. They're not going to make good Zelda puzzles.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Mario is that the levels there's no overarching like long play kind of thing. It's one level, then one level, then one level.
Yeah, and they're made of interchangeable parts.
Right. Where with Zelda, I mean, there's a very definite progression from 1 to 2 to 3, or however.
Yeah.
Where you're building on the items that you get. Where with a level up with a dungeon editor for like Zelda, And it'd have to be for like the original Zelda. They wouldn't be able to do any of the 3D.
Yeah, that'd be way too complicated.
Yeah. You wouldn't have that progression. I think that would be too big of a loss for that franchise for it to work, I think.
I mean, it could be done, but I don't think people are good enough to be able to do it, to be blunt.
Yeah.
I read a cool thing about, like, game design isn't something that people will inherently know how to do. Because it's not like shooting a video with your phone where everybody kind of has that vocabulary for shooting a film, making a film, or taking a picture. Like, everybody kind of understands that and what makes that good.
Right.
No, not a lot of people have experience designing games.
Now they do.
Yeah.
Now they have the option. So,
there's a couple other games that I think are worth checking out. Have you seen Dropsy?
Dropsy the Clown?
Dropsy the
I've
Clown.
seen some of that. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's a point and click, I guess they describe it, hug venture game where you are this big scary clown guy, but he's not actually.
Oh, he's not evil. He's just terrifying looking.
Yeah. And he just wants to make everybody's day better. You go around and solve point and click puzzles to fix people's problems. And there's an overarching story with Dropsy, but that's kind of what the game is. He wants to hug people, so you cheer people up so Dropsy can hug them, and you just go around. It's almost an open world adventure game. You just go around and solve problems and try to push the story forward.
I don't know. I'm not really a fan of clowns anyway.
I mean, that's kind of the point. He's not supposed to be friendly looking, but it's really good. It is reminiscent of like 90s era point and click adventure games.
Really?
Like
Wow.
LucasArts stuff. Like a lot of people try to capture that and don't do it, but I think Dropsy has definitely captured something similar in its own dark, weird way. Also, the animation's really good and the soundtrack is really, really good.
Cool.
That and Undertale just came out the other day, and it's like an indie RPG type thing. But the combat is different because you can talk your way out of every battle. You don't have to kill anybody.
Oh, wow.
There's options just to talk to the monsters and work your way out of every battle.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
You're like a kid that falls through a hole in a cave into the world where monsters live. Because in the past, there was a war between humans and monsters, and they sealed them all into this cave.
Okay.
So you're trapped in this weird monster world, and it's very Earthboundy.
Cool.
I'd definitely check it out. It's good. It's different.
Different is good.
Yeah, much like Dropsy, but not in the same tone.
Yeah.
Well, I've done some things, but not much. I mean, I've been kind of...
I've done some things.
I've done some things. No, I've been kind of sick, if you can't tell in my voice. I'm on the better end of it versus the where I thought you guys were going to have to replace me because I would have died.
That's just sad.
Yeah. I know the world without me is it's like
it's a dark place.
Yeah, it's like what Captain Hook says at the end of Hook. What kind of world would be without Midgetor? But anyway, I watched the first 3 episodes of the Lego Star Wars Droid Tales for giggles.
Okay.
Was it dumb?
Parts of it were. Other parts were like, where obviously this was made by some Star Wars fans who have some grievances. Like at one point, it's like taking place after the Battle of Endor, and they're having their little rebel party on Endor, and
the teddy bear picnic.
Yeah, the teddy bear picnic, and they want C-3PO to tell stories about the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, and like they're sitting there, he starts talking about Episode 1, and he's like talking about how like trade agreements with the Trade Federation and Naboo, and everyone falls asleep.
Perfect.
And then like in Episode 2, he starts talking about like the love blossom between Anakin and Padme. And they're like, no one wants to hear about that. We want to hear about the Clone Wars. and C-3PO like looks at it like, what about you? Don't you want to know how your parents fell in love? She's like, Clone Wars, Clone Wars. But it's okay. I mean, I won't say it's great. It has some shining gems of storytelling in it,
Cool.
and some like it kind of like pokes fun at plot holes.
Nice. It sounds better than the Justice League one I watched the other day that was just a pile of garbage.
Yeah, that one is pretty bad. But I watched those. And then I watched, obviously Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah. We talk about Rick and Morty every week.
I know. It's one of the good things about the fact that I called off work for being sick on a Sunday night. I could actually watch the new episode. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't like one of their stronger ones, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. There's new South Park this week.
I saw it pop up on my Hulu, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I saw about half of it, and then I had to go do something.
I have not really watched a lot of South Park in a long time. Like, I don't really keep up with it.
Oh, I always watch it when there's new ones. I get excited for them. I'm a big Matt and Trey fan, so.
Yeah.
But what I saw of the new one, it was just okay. The principal got fired and replaced with a new politically correct principal named PC Principal.
Okay.
And they're like making this comparison with overly PC people and frat boys for some reason. And I didn't get around to where they actually make their point, because they always have a message and a point they're trying to make.
Right.
And I didn't see enough of it to figure out where they were sitting in the whole thing. Although I read a review on IGN that said that they never really fell to one side or the other on it. So I don't know. Because it's a tough topic to fall on one side or the other on. Because on one side people take it too far. On the other side, there's a good reason why we should be more PC.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
And it's probably hard for them to take a side, because on one hand they don't want to be jerks, and they're older than they used to be, and I think they're
kind of coming to grips with that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they kind of built their entire career on not
being jerks,
on not being PC.
Yeah, that's like their bread and butter.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, look at the South Park movie.
But that was a long time ago. That was like 20 years ago.
Shut up. No, it wasn't.
It was a while.
I know it was a while, but I don't know if it was 20 years ago.
It was at least 15.
At least.
About to say, I'm 31 now. Because I had my birthday.
Oh, yeah. Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, I got Amnesia for free.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
The game.
Oh, okay.
I think you've gotten better since then.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You are.
Yeah, Steam gave it away for like a day.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't got a chance to really get around to playing it yet.
I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't. Just something about it doesn't work for me.
Is it the fact that you can't fight the monster? Or?
Yeah, I don't like that. That you just have to run away all the time.
And hide.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of like that Lovecraftian kind of mental horror kind of thing. You know, like a sanity meter kind of stuff.
It'd be cool if it had sanity effects, but Nintendo owns the copyright on that one.
Yeah. I still have my Eternal Darkness.
They literally do.
Oh, really?
They patented sanity effects in games.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that.
Huh.
I've played plenty of Call of Cthulhu style games that have a sanity effect.
Well, like the stuff that happens in Eternal Darkness, like faking your volume going up and down, that's what
or
they
where
have
your controller stops working and there's a monster coming at you.
Yeah, that's what they have the patent.
That's really a good game. Like old school like GameCube gem right there.
Yeah, that's a great game. I love that game. I can't really put my finger on why I don't like it, because I love horror games and it's definitely one of them. But I don't. Like, it doesn't really scare me all that much.
Well, I might be okay. I mean, Slender kind of made me poop my pants a little bit.
Really? I never liked those either. I played the Slender, the Arrival, the real Slender Man release.
Okay.
And it was boring. I found it to be extremely boring.
I think part of it for me, like when I played the original Slender game, like the original like free download one, was like, I'd kind of like built up all this hype around it, and then I played it in the dark. And for some reason, me playing games like horror games in the dark, it just does something to me. Like, I like the original Fatal Frame.
Oh, Fatal Frame's horrifying. That's a scary game.
Yeah. I played that in the dark, and at one point I freaked out so bad that I haven't touched the game since.
Oh, wow.
And that was when it was new.
Wow.
That was
And
a
it
long
was,
time ago.
yeah, and that was a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah.
I know it was this ghost had her eyes stabbed out or something, screaming in my face, and it bugged me.
Yeah, Fatal Frame games are really good. Which I guess we're getting the next one. It's actually coming to America for the Wii U.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Very cool.
And it's free to start, apparently. It's one of
What?
those where you can download it and play like the first chapter,
Oh, okay.
and then after that you have to pay for it.
You get a
Okay.
taste for the blood.
Yeah. I don't remember when it comes out, but probably soon.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I haven't checked out Super Ton. I've been working, like, nonstop. But I did, it was funny, we were talking about South Park. I sat and rewatched Basketball the other day, and that was really good. I actually forgot how close it was to, like, an airplane movie. Because it's...
I know,
One
right?
of the writers and producers was one of the guys, Abrams, one of the guys who did Airplane and, that stuff. Because as a kid, I remember being, very much like the South Park sensibility
Oh,
and
yeah.
comedy and stuff. But there was a lot of, like, visual, like, sight gag, like, airplane style stuff in there as well.
I love Airplane. It's like one of my
Yeah,
favorite
it's a
Yeah,
comedies.
it's a great movie. But no, Basketball is it's pretty good. It's it might be one of my favorite of their stuff. I'm one of the weird people who wasn't. I liked Orgasmo, but did not. I don't know.
I mean, I like it, but I don't necessarily love it.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I watched it, but I don't think I could see myself going back to it on repeat.
no.
Oh yeah,
viewings.
yeah.
Once was
Orgasmo's
enough.
Not the greatest.
Yeah.
It's no Cannibal.
No, it's definitely not Cannibal. Cannibal the musical. I love that. That's a good one too. But
Team America.
yeah, Team.
I mean, all their movies are good,
Yeah,
but Orgasmo is probably the weakest of the
Probably
bunch.
the bunch.
probably. Yeah. I almost had to check it out this week. I'm not gonna rail on this too much. It's a good thing we didn't record this last night. I'll just put this out there before we do anything. At one point, I thought we would have the opportunity to interview Lou Ferrigno, the actor. He had the guy from the original Incredible Hulk TV series and, Pumping Iron and a bunch of Italian movies and stuff like that. And through a, I don't know, do you want to call it a communication error? Or like a mismanagement of...
Wizard World done messed up.
Yeah, and let's call it what it is. Yeah, Wizard World screwed up. There was supposed to be a media pre-event for the Comic-Con that's going on this weekend. And we were invited. And their party was supposed to be from like 7 to 9 p.m. Come.
That's what the email
enjoy.
said.
That's what the email said. We did this last year. It was at 16-bit down in Columbus last year. It's at a different place. I'm not going to name the name of this place because it's not their fault for this. I'm not going to, no. But last year, everything went great. It's actually where, if you look in our podcast archives, it's when we interviewed Jason David Frank, the original Green Power Ranger.
And that turned out really good.
And it turned out really well. And, I got down there, and, like I said, it was about, they said from 7 to 9 was the medium pre-release party, whatever. So I got down there a little after 8 to find that they had packed up and left. They were done, like, about quarter after 8, 20 after 8. And I don't know, last night I was pretty fired up about it. Because,
it's unprofessional
It's
to say you're going to be there till a certain time and then you just pack it up and go.
it is incredibly unprofessional. And, it just got me thinking, I spent all day rushing around to try to get down there to this thing. Prepared for it. Everything was good.
Yeah, you had some really good questions for Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, there had some really good questions. I wish I would have had a chance to ask him. Burnt over a quarter tank of gas, almost a half tank of gas to drive down there and back. Killed multiple hours of my time to get down there and have absolutely nothing to show for it, And I mean, I'm I appreciate that they gave us the opportunity to go down there. But, if you say you're going to be... It just comes down to professionalism.
Yeah.
You say you're going to be there from a certain time to a certain time. You be there at the times that you...
Well, should be down there.
Yeah. But anyway...
I don't get to leave my job a half hour early just because I feel like it. I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. It just left a real sour taste in my mouth. And I'm going to get down there this weekend because we are, at least, in one form or another, we are all going to be down there for the convention. I know once we get down there, it's going to be fun, and everything. But it was not a good way to start off the weekend, and it just comes down to professionalism. Now, if I got down there and Ferrigno had left, after an hour and a half, that's fine.
Yeah, he's a celebrity. That happens.
Right. But to have the entire thing packed up and gone, and for me
you
to
couldn't even get your wristband.
Couldn't even get my wristband early. They couldn't get my free drink, which I don't really care about. That's not a big deal. But no, went down there and stood in the middle of a restaurant because it wasn't held in a bar like it was last year. It was held in an actual sit-down restaurant, which was weird.
Yeah.
Just stand in the middle of this restaurant while people are eating their food, looking at me like some kind of jerk for nothing. It just, again, it comes down to professionalism, and it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So if you were looking forward to us interviewing Lou Ferrigno, and I don't know who would, we didn't really announce anything about it. Sorry. Maybe next time.
No Hulk for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that lovely note, that high point, let's go ahead and take a break here.
Thanks, Wizard World.
29 Brew Pub and To Die For Cupcakes is a supporter of local radio programs like Nerd Overload. 29 Brew Pub offers wood-fired pizzas and sandwiches, craft beers and local liquors, and To Die For's gourmet cupcakes. They also host a local bike night every Thursday. 29 Brew Pub and To Die For Cupcakes. 1692 Marion Mount Gilead Road, right in front of Office Depot, 740-751-4586, and also on Facebook. All right, we are back. That was the opening intro theme song to the Incredible Hulk TV show. It's not much, but we figure, it's something at least, right?
It would have been really good up against that interview.
It would have been real good.
Didn't get to do.
Oh man, just imagine you were coming back from an interview with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Yeah, how on point that would have been. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of news here. Let's talk about Pokemon Go.
Pokemon.
Yeah, so Nintendo and was it Niantic?
Yeah, that's the name of the company.
Studios. They do that Ingress.
Yeah.
Game. They announced that they're was it next year?
I think it was next year.
Next year. Yeah, they are releasing a iOS and Android VR, not really VR,
it's
but like
AR.
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Yeah, an AR game where you're essentially...
They've created an alternate reality where Pokemon are real.
Yeah. Well, you're not quite far off because it's this game, it's a tracker, like a GPS tracker, and when you get close to an area where
a Pokemon
is, you can actually hold your camera up and the Pokemon character will pop up on the screen looking like it's in the scenery, and you can catch the closest thing to real live
Pokemon
fighting animal type things.
Yeah, you get this little wristband and it looks kind of like a Pokeball on a strap.
It's like a cross between a Pokeball and a GPS dropper.
Yeah, and it when you're near a Pokemon, it will vibrate.
Yeah, and it was released with this trailer that was pretty amazing.
It won't look that good. But...
Oh God, no.
It was a very cinematic trailer.
Yeah, if you notice, there was no actual gameplay footage.
There was a little bit at the very end. There's about 2 seconds of
seeing the Pokemon
clearly
fight screen.
not finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It looks neat.
It'll get me outside.
Yeah, I'd definitely play it. It looks fun.
Yeah,
I like the idea that you can battle your friends and stuff with it.
Yeah, I'm curious how much of the actual Pokemon battle system will be part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the things you catch have predetermined move sets or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if that's the catch, is if it won't be you won't have the full battle system in there.
Right. But I don't know. It looks neat. You can trade them. Yeah.
Between devices.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to have like special events for like the rare ones or
like
something.
Mewtwo?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the trailer had like Times Square people,
like
whole bunch
100
of people fighting Mewtwo in Times Square.
Yeah.
And everyone apparently caught Mewtwo when you defeat it.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. Do you think this is part of the Nintendo's their quality of life kind of thing that they're pushing for, like the exercise and stuff? Because it's going to get you outside and get you walking.
It could be. I have a feeling they've kind of abandoned that though.
Really?
Because they haven't really done anything. Well, I guess they patented a clock.
Yeah.
A while ago. I don't know. They haven't said anything about it or revealed anything in a long time. So who knows?
It seems more like a social experiment versus anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. If I can, go out to the store and find a Pikachu in my parking lot, or go past a creepy looking house and find a Gengar, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really hinges on what the battle system is like for me.
Really?
True.
If it's just
in the cost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in cost. Which the watch thing I think is optional.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be worn as a watch. It actually has a clip on it, so you can just put it in your pocket, and it vibrates. So
I won't feel that.
Yeah. If I was gonna wear it, I'd wear it proudly.
Yeah.
That's what was cool about the Pokewalker that came with the Gold and Silver remake?
Might have been, yeah.
It was cool seeing people having that on their belt clip, and you knew, oh, that person likes Pokemon, that's pretty cool. And I guess people that wouldn't like Pokemon wouldn't know what it was to begin with. Anyway.
I guess that's true, yeah.
I don't know, I think Pokemon is big enough in pop culture that at least someone will at least recognize that red and white ball as a Pokeball. Or something Pokemon related. I mean, it dominated the 90s.
The 90s.
Yeah.
Kids don't. Well, kids still. That's the popularity of Pokemon. Kids still are into it to this day.
Oh, sure.
It was not just a fad. It stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's too many Pokemon now, though. It also makes me wonder how deep they go into it with this Pokemon Go. If they have all the Pokemon, or maybe just the original 151.
Oh, it'll have all of them.
I have a feeling they'll start with the original 150, and then slowly, after a year, maybe
patch in the different generations.
Patch in the different gens, yeah. The thing that really it's going to come down to me for is, that was an oddly constructed sentence. The thing that is really going to hinge it is how often the location services on your phone are going to be on, because that burns battery like crazy.
Yeah.
And if it's one of those things, and data, so it's one of those things where if it has to be on all the time for it to work, it's not worth it.
True.
It also matters how far you're going to have to go.
Yeah.
How do they plot where they're at? Is it just going to be random? Because then they can't be random, because then they'll be in places you couldn't get to.
Right.
So is it going to be you're going to have to go to a city to do it? You're going to have to. Are they going to plot Pokemon in our tiny little town? What? How's it going to work?
Oh, our luck would get a Farfetch'd.
I like Farfetch'd. He's got a little leek sword.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll go to Walmart grocery shop and there's a Snorlax just in the middle of the aisle.
Trubbish as far as the eye can see.
Zubats.
Yeah. Every cave. But no, speaking of Nintendo stuff, they have a new president. They announced here this past week, right?
Yeah, after their former president passed away, probably a good 3 months ago.
Yeah.
They finally announced that his replacement, which I am blanking on his name.
I am looking it up now.
We really should have looked that up.
It is Tatsumi Kimishima.
He used to be their HR head.
Yeah.
He used to be the head of Pokemon Company.
For a while, yeah.
For a while. He worked up at a bank before Nintendo, which is weird.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a fun guy. He kind of looks like Grumpy Cat.
Yeah,
a little bit.
If you search the web for a stock photo of Asian businessman, that's pretty much what he looks like.
Yeah. But all reports are that he's a nice and cool and fun guy,
Yeah.
even if he doesn't look it.
All these talk of fun guys. I don't think Toad has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But he was the head of Nintendo of America before Reggie was, too.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got the...
Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a programmer, though. He is definitely a businessman.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it could be a good thing. I mean, Iwata did amazing things with the company, but, I mean, the Wii U is out of the three major, consoles, the Wii U is in third place, I guess.
It's doing better than it was.
Well, true, yeah. Well, because they're
it's
putting out
still-
great games now.
Yeah, but it's not where the Wii was.
But, right.
Or even the GameCube.
Right. So, I don't know. But from all reports, it sounds like this guy's going to try to continue the same kind of business model that Iwata had set up initially,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he said he's going to stay the course of what...
Yeah.
Iwata would have wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Nintendo did restructure like a lot of their internal stuff now.
Yeah. Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy that created Mario and the biggest creative name at Nintendo, he's got a new title.
Yeah, it's like
Creative Fellow.
something like that.
Guy who has all the ideas.
Yeah. And so did their hardware guy that I can't remember his name. He got...
Like tech
Yeah.
fellow.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're taking guiding roles
That's good.
to guide the teams instead of, being...
Just on their own. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might help.
It sounds like it's not just the new guy running it's kind of like a combination of him and Miyamoto and the hardware guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Triforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of leadership. I don't know, I'm not worried about it. It sounds fine.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it either.
Only time will tell to see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, he let him delay Star Fox.
Oh yeah.
Which, that's another news item. Star Fox Zero, the upcoming Wii U Star Fox, got delayed into next year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather it be good and then instead of being another crap Star Fox tile.
Yeah.
Like Star Fox Adventures.
Oh, God. That's a bad one.
That is a bad game.
I thought you were going to say Assault, and I was going to get mad.
No, I
really
liked Assault.
Yeah.
Assault was like a nice fresh air of getting back to basics.
Yeah, I love that game. That game didn't review well, and people like to trash it, and I thought it was great. The multiplayer is really fun, too.
I had a lot. I used to play the Star Fox 64 multiplayer all the time. Like I loved being like just Fox on the ground with the rapid fire bazooka thing, shooting at planes and tanks because it was so hard to hit him.
I like Star Fox. It's a good franchise.
It is a great franchise.
I'm excited for the new one. And
Yeah.
and if they have to delay it, go ahead.
Yeah.
Make it good.
I hope they go back to Dinosaur Planet.
No. No.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're the reason why we can't have nice things.
They
But
actually-
he has to have a tiny Triceratops sidekick that spits fire.
No.
That's what Fox needs. That's
No.
what a flying in space game needs. All of these things that I'm saying are actually true. That is a real thing.
Yeah. Star Fox Adventures is a rare made
Yeah.
spinoff.
A collectathon.
Yeah.
It did give us Crystal, though. Fox's sort of love interest.
Which I could do
I
without.
could take or leave.
Yeah.
You know what we really needed? We really needed a volleyball scene with Fox and Falco.
Oh, gosh.
Fox gun.
Yeah.
I can't let you do that, Star Fox. Spike.
Well, Star Fox isn't the only thing that's been delayed. We have a ton of games and,
All the
and a couple of
things.
movies that have been
All the things.
delayed as well.
Persona 5,
Yeah.
the next big JRPG from Atlas and the Persona series, has been delayed until summer of next year.
Summer.
It was supposed to come out this year. Now it's like almost a full year delay on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stinks. I was excited about it.
Yeah. Did they say why? Is it just
No, just to
not
make
ready?
it better. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
not ready.
Okay.
Which there's so much minutia and story and stuff in Persona that it just takes a long time.
Yeah.
There was a new trailer for it, and it looks great. It still looks amazing. So.
Cool. I don't know anything about the Persona series, so I I don't know.
Everybody should play it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a JRPG, though. It takes a bit of commitment to get into those.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it with Persona, because a lot of JRPGs take all that commitment and then they have a trash story.
Mm.
But Persona actually is pretty well told.
Well, that's cool. Another delay, talking about games again. Boy, we're talking about games a lot today. I guess that's really the only news that's really come out, huh? Anyway.
Well, it's a big season for game news. So we're getting hitting on Christmas, and that's when all the
and Black Friday and all that stuff.
That's very true. Mighty Number 9, we've talked about it before. The Kickstarter, the veiled attempts at making a Mega Man game without actual Mega Man. They're supposed to have a demo for backers. A game that they claim is almost completed except for like one thing, like the online multiplayer or something.
But who wanted that to begin with? That's
no one
dumb.
did. No one did. But they claim that the game is done, but they're going to have a demo. But they pushed the game back. We talked about that before. They were supposed to have a demo come out at the end of this month, and that demo has also been pushed back. They're claiming because the original idea they had was that you would only have like so many days to play it before it like locked itself out.
Which is nuts.
Which doesn't make sense anyway. You've spent the money on a game that doesn't look like it's going to be done ever. At least give the fans something that they can whet their appetite with, know?
And it's not like it's for public consumption either. It's just for the backers, right?
Yeah, right. They were going to distribute Steam codes for it. And they decided, nope, they don't want to go with Steam. And after fans complained, they decided they didn't want to do the timed thing. So they're looking at other avenues for that. It makes me think the game is really not done, and they're just coming up with excuses to tell the people who spent their hard-earned money for what is looking like no product, including myself. I'm supposed to be getting this demo, and no, nothing. I tell you, I am never backing another game on Kickstarter again. This has soured me so hard. Like they can't even get like one level completed to pass out to people who have spent money years ago with nothing to show for it.
I say it's been a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been years. It's been a couple years at least, and it just.
I'm glad I backed Shantae instead of Mighty Number 9, because I was down to either choosing Mighty Number 9 or Shantae Half Genie Hero, and I picked Shantae because I thought it needed it more.
Yeah.
And I still don't have that game, but at least I'm getting regular updates, and they're not actively trying to screw me. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I get monthly updates from Mighty Number 9, but every time it's like, oh well, we gotta push this back, we gotta push that back. Nothing's ready yet. We can't show you any gameplay, any game screens that are completed. We can't show you any finalized, character designs. We'll show you all this.
That just makes it sound like nothing is done.
We'll show you all this concept art, and we'll show you fan art that people have made because they're excited. Although the fan art has dropped off significantly in the last couple of months, it just rubbing me the wrong way.
Only journalists have played it at this point.
Yeah.
At trade shows and stuff.
And they're not happy about it. It's not super great from what I hear. So, I don't know. They've also delayed the Pacific Rim 2, right?
Yep. Pacific Rim 2 has been delayed indefinitely, which is basically movie speak for this movie is never going to be made.
It's dying in development hell.
Yep, it is in development hell. Which breaks my heart, because, yes, Pacific Rim, not a great movie, but it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It gave you exactly what you paid for. Giant robots in fistfights with giant monsters. With that dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I was kind of glad they were doing a sequel, because I hated Pacific Rim, but I liked the concept and the world, and I felt like it could have been done so much better, which is what I was hoping
they were supposed to do all kinds
sequel.
of stuff. There was supposed to be a comic and talk of an animated series that went along with everything. And this sequel, I mean, Del Toro is having, like, the world's worst time right now.
He's having a bad year, because between this and the PT thing,
Silent Hill, his Justice League Dark script never getting really picked up.
Yeah.
People wanting Hellboy 3, but it's probably never going to happen.
The Justice League Dark thing was DC going, this is going to be a good movie. Yeah, we don't make those.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, one of the people who works at DC Entertainment, they did an interview, and in it she said, I forget the woman's name, but she claimed that DC decided that following Marvel's trend of movie making
I did see that.
would be ultimately detrimental to the DC properties and their franchises. And while part of me agrees with that, you know, you don't want to copy one for one. You don't want to be made to be a pale imitation. The Marvel movies are really good.
Yeah.
And there are some things that should be emulated out of it. They shouldn't, you know, knee-jerk reactions so hard into making their movies like...
The exact opposite.
Yeah.
The polar opposite.
Devoid of fun and enjoyment. And color.
Well, when you take something that everybody universally enjoys and try to make the exact opposite of it, you're going to get something that everybody universally hates.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand them not wanting to be the exact same.
Yeah, which they could and still be fun. I mean...
Oh, sure.
The Marvel Universe isn't perfect.
No. Iron Man 3. Also, to be fair, I've never watched Little Short with the Mandarin.
Oh, the Hail to the King.
Hail to the King or whatever it was. Yeah, I never actually sat and watched that.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special.
But anyway, but the Marvel movies aren't perfect. I mean, there are some great gems like Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's some ones that aren't quite as strong.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 3 or... heck, the first Thor is not fantastic.
No.
I really liked Thor 2, The Dark World, actually a little more than the original Thor.
I agree. I'll agree with that.
It almost had like that kind of Spider-Man 2 kind of feel to it, where we get into he already has his powers.
Yeah, there wasn't nearly as much setup.
Yeah.
Which comes back to the idea that we've talked about a million times. We're tired of, origin stories.
Like DC could tailor their movies to each individual character instead of making a mishmash, or not a mishmash, but a samey kind of feel for every movie.
Or they could have started with the Justice League movie outright with all of them in it, and then branched off from there instead of, doing the Marvel, all desperate parts all coming together.
Yeah.
Which they're not even really doing that well.
No.
I mean, you had Man of Steel, which had some references in it, but that was about it. And now you have the sequel to Man of Steel, which has essentially become the Batman show.
Yeah.
It's actually not really a sequel to Man of Steel, because they're working on a Man of Steel 2. So it's not...
Wasn't it originally supposed to be?
Originally, at one point, but now it's a pre-Justice League is
Zack
what it is.
Snyder's grand vision has evolved.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I loved Watchmen.
Yeah.
Well, he did, isn't it like shot for shot the comic?
Pretty close to it.
Yeah. I mean, with some changes, but yeah.
Although I did hear Man of Steel 2, they're trying to get, what's his name from Mad Max?
Tom Hardy?
No, the director.
Oh, George Miller.
George Miller to do it. Because George Miller almost had a Justice League movie made in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
And, I think they're trying to get him to write and direct Man of Steel 2. And that would be pretty great.
Good.
Yeah.
Fury Road is amazing.
I still need to get around and watch that.
It's on DVD now.
I know.
You have no excuse.
I need to red box that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see, what other... Gambit. You want to talk about movies?
Marvel not doing super hot, although I guess technically this is Fox.
Yeah, this is Fox with the Marvel tag on it.
Yeah.
The Gambit film has lost its director. You want to talk about movies in development hell? Gambit has... it's been a bumpy road for the Cajun.
Yeah.
I mean, there was talk that Channing Tatum had backed out, but then he's back.
He claimed, but a lot of Channing Tatum's involvement was dependent on the director.
Yeah.
Because he's buddies with the director.
Yeah, and now the director is gone.
So I can almost guarantee in the next week or two we're going to see Tatum drop out and production on Gambit just stop.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Which really sucks because I like Gambit. I've always liked Gambit as a character. I hated his incarnation in the Wolverine Origin movie.
Oh, man. Taylor Kitsch. Is that
I
his name?
can't remember his name, but
He was John Carter.
Yeah,
in that movie, John Carter.
on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was awful. I mean, he didn't look like Gambit. He tried a Cajun accent for like half a line.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's terrible. I mean, that movie as a whole is just garbage. But...
Yeah. He sounded like me speaking and then said, share.
That movie's so bad. I got so excited because like a couple of my friends went and saw it before me. It was like, yeah, Gambit's in it. I'm like, yes,
no,
nope. And then then Deadpool being in it, but then Deadpool technically not being in it because he's like Weapon X something.
YZ.
Yeah,
and yeah, and the fact that the person playing the mouthless Deadpool thing in the end of that movie is not even Ryan Reynolds.
No, not even close.
The merc with a mouth without a mouth.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But also on the same vein of this Gambit kerfuffle is the fact that the producer of the X-Men films wants to bring Gambit and Deadpool, the new shiny...
The good one.
Into the X-Men umbrella.
I mean, I guess they can do that.
It makes sense. I mean, yeah, they have the rights to the characters, but...
But then again, this guy's also said he wants to do a Fantastic Four X-Men shared universe movie. And that would be the worst.
No.
That would just be the worst.
Fox, just stop. Just make Deadpool, because it's going to be good. Release Deadpool, because it's going to be good. Just stop.
And then give all the rights back to Disney Marvel.
I mean, we need a good X-Men film. We haven't had one in a while.
Days of Future Past was pretty
This
good.
is true. I do like Days of Future Past, and I do like First Class.
I liked First Class a lot.
It's a weird film.
Yeah, and it kind of retcons a lot of the previous movies.
Yeah.
But I think Days of Future Past...
Re-retcons.
It's
Re-retcons.
basically a humongous retcon device.
Well, I tell you, it almost felt like seeing what's coming out with X-Men Apocalypse and kind of where things were left at the end of Days of Future Past. It was almost like Bryan Singer came in after... was it McG screwed up X-Men 3 and then X-Men First Class, which changed some things.
Yeah.
Came in and said, okay, I got to tell you this story to put all the pieces in place so I can tell you
and fix
the
it.
one I want to do.
Yeah.
It was like X-Men Days of Future Past was a movie born out of necessity, almost.
This is true. We did need it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was younger and like the original X-Men movie came out, I was like, oh my god, I love the X-Men. But I was still off my hype of the X-Men cartoon.
Oh, I love that cartoon.
It's amazing. And, it's not great. It's not terrible. But also, it's been a while since I've watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to superhero movies at the time, that first X-Men movie was amazing.
Right, yeah.
True. But, man, X-Men 3... Throw that, Spider-Man 3, the Fantastic Four reboot, and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, probably into a volcano, and just let them die. Please. I mean, I love Marvel, and I love the Marvel Universe, and I love Marvel characters. Mm-hmm. And it really makes me sad to see good characters go to bad movies.
Yeah. Getting back on topic with this thing, I don't see why everything has to be a shared universe.
Oh yeah, that's Hollywood's got the hots for doing that right now.
Yeah, I mean it's
all because of the success of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah,
and I mean I don't know what I want to say. I think it's different the way the Marvel's doing it than it's like Hollywood's taking trying to emulate the wrong part of the Marvel movies. Shared universe, I guess. Yeah, it's like it worked for the Marvel movies because Marvel Studio movies because their stories lent to that. It's like with like Universal Monsters shared universe they're going to do. It doesn't. Yeah, they're fitting it into things that don't make sense. The X-Men movies and Deadpool are going to be completely tonally different. The Fantastic Four movies and the X-Men movies are completely tonally different, and they don't lend themselves to that shared universe. Where the Marvel movies, for the most part, since post Iron Man 1, Iron Man 1 really didn't a whole lot. No. Although they teased S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's about it. But those movies lend themselves. They went into it with the idea of, okay, this is going to be the end goal as an Avengers movie.
Yeah,
where
which they did.
Yeah, where it's just not quite the same with other studios, I guess.
No, I mean it was a huge gamble at the time for them to do it.
Oh, it was, yeah,
and it paid off beautifully. Mm-hmm. I mean, it gave us one of the greatest action films ever with the Avengers. Granted, post-Avengers, there have been a couple hiccups in the road and a couple stumbles.
Kind of in a little bit of a rut.
But, you can't, lightning doesn't strike twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still good, and they're still a powerhouse as far as the film industry goes and making all that money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, I believe the rise in the popularity of superheroes now is because of the Marvel movies.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still excited for Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop calling it Captain America Civil War, because
it's really not any at this point.
No, just call it Marvel Civil War or the Avengers Civil War, something.
Yeah.
Because basically every character you've had in all the previous movies are going to be in it, minus like the Hulk and the Guardians.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I think we are at our hour, so let's go ahead and wrap it up here. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can also find us over at Facebook if you do that kind of thing at facebook.com/nerdoverload website.
You can send us tweets at @nerd_overload, or you can pop us an email at staff@nerdoverload.com.
Yeah, send us an email, send us a song request, do anything. Let us know that you're listening. That would be awesome. So, again, thank you for listening, and we will be back next week. This show was sponsored in part by 29 Brew Pub and Wood Fired Pizza and To Die For Cupcakes.